You're listening to the How to Talk to Girls podcast with your dating coach, Trip, from tripadvice.com. Do you struggle with getting girls to like you? Well, you're going to learn step-by-step how to talk to girls to create deep connections and meet the woman of your dreams. Here's your host, me, Trip. Hello and welcome to the How to Talk to Girls podcast. I'm your host, Trip Kramer from tripadvice.com. And on today's episode, we're talking about what kills attraction before doing the deed, before getting intimate and sexual with the woman. What can kill attraction? Because I know that there's a lot of guys out there who are making big mistakes, which are turning girls off. And that's not what we're trying to do here at TripAdvice. We're trying to turn girls on and make them happy and make you happy and make the world go round so you guys can have an awesome experience. And so there's a lot of things really. There's a lot of things that guys do wrong when it comes to keeping the heat up when you are with the girl, keeping the intimacy flowing. But there are things that can really kill it, and one in particular when you are with a girl. So let's set the scene for a second. Let's pretend that you're on a date with the girl and you end up back at your place or her place and things are going really well and you guys start kissing, you start making out. And all of a sudden, you get really eager. Because I know guys get really excited and really eager at the chance of having sex with a girl, right? Maybe a lot of guys listening to this podcast don't get to frequent that with a lady or one that they're really interested in. And finally, they get that opportunity. Well, what do? They move way, way too fast. Way too fast. What I mean is, you guys are, maybe taking off clothes and everything's getting really hot and heavy, and then you kind of just go for it. Well, first of all, obviously you should be asking for consent before you go for it. But what the problem is you're not actually letting it build up enough. You have this idea in your head that yes, she's ready and she wants it and she's taking off her clothes and you guys are back and she's the one who asked you to come up to her place and all the signs are in place. So you end up just moving really fast and, maybe grabbing a condom and then you guys end up doing it. But the problem here is this can actually kill the mood. Now here's the thing, consent does not kill the mood. Consent is fine. And especially, where we're at right now in society, it's very important. I mean, it's always been important, right? Consent has always been important. But nowadays, I think it's more normal to have that conversation and not feel weird about it. So don't worry about that. That's not going to kill the mood. What's going to kill the mood is going to be you, even if you're asking for consent, but then just going for it and just having sex as soon as possible. The name of the game is slow play. Okay, slow play. Now, I've talked about this on a recent YouTube video where I talked about, the number one trick to turn a girl on in the bedroom, and that is by going slow. And it's something I wanted to reiterate here because what ends up happening when you go too fast is a girl doesn't have enough time to get really turned on. Even if you think she is, you're convinced she is because of how she's acting towards you and she's jumping your bones, you want to still build the tension. The tension is what really makes the intimacy that much greater, makes her much more into you, more attracted to you because you're taking your time. Confident men take their time. They take their sweet time because they know that it's not going anywhere. They know that they're going to be able to have it when they want it because they're guys who are of high value. And so you're subconsciously saying this to a woman when you're not going fast. Because if you're going fast and trying to do it so soon, that means that you really want it and you're so eager. And that eagerness is unattractive. Now, I know that sounds kind of strange because you're thinking, well, if a girl did that to me, I wouldn't be unattracted. That would be awesome. Well, women and men get turned on in very different ways, right? So one of the ways that women get turned on is by building that tension, is by building it up really, 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 really big. You see, women are wired for that. They're wired for tension. Okay, they're not like a switch that gets flicked on for a guy. A guy sees a girl who's really pretty, boom, he's turned on, he's ready to go. But for a woman, it's more like a dial, right? She needs to get turned up, and it needs to be turned up loud. And if you're not turning it up loud, you're not building up that anticipation, you're not building up that tension, it's not going to be as exciting for her, okay? Now, that's what we want. We want to build the excitement for her. So it takes you going excruciatingly slow, Okay, I'm talking very slow. That means when you're kissing her, you're going slow. When you're touching her, you're going slow. Okay, when you finally bring her into the bedroom, you're working your way around her body. And no, you're not just, going ready to just stick it in. That's not what we're doing here. We are taking things absolutely slow. Foreplay is your best friend, and a lot of guys will skip that. And that's really the thing here. That's what kills attraction. When guys skip the foreplay, and foreplay, by the way, doesn't just start in the bedroom, it starts all the way when you guys are first on a date together, right? The way that you're looking at her, the way that you are talking to her, the way your confidence is being displayed and your personality is being displayed, the way you open the door for her when you guys go into an Uber or a taxi, and you guys go back to whoever's place and you're pouring a glass of wine. Everything's being built up to that point. And this is how it works in relationships too. It doesn't matter if you're dating, doesn't matter if it's a first date, doesn't matter if you guys are married, in a relationship for 5 years, living together. All that anticipation, all that tension still has to be built. Okay, now I know it's a lot of work, but let me just say, it makes it more exciting. You're going to have a more fun time. It's going to be more interesting for you when you guys are together. So don't think about this as a lot of work. Try to have fun with it. Make it fun for yourself, building that up, because you got to know in the back of your head that you are the man and you are going to be able to finally do the deed with the girl. But a lot of guys are just so desperate, okay, so desperate. And I want to take away that desperation from you and realize that you don't have to rush into anything. You don't have to make this super fast to do it just in case she changes her mind. That's desperate thinking. That mindset is toxic to your ability to be able to attract the kinds of women that you want, okay? You got to get that terrible mindset out that you need to go quick, you need to trick her, you need to do all these things. No, no, no. It's about playing the right game, the game that she wants to play. And that game is building the tension slow and slow and slow. And then at that point, when you want to ask for consent, she's going to say, shut up and let's go already, okay? And so you're going to get more consent than you've ever wanted, and that girl is going to love it, and she's going to have loved that part that even if you're not even good at having sex, she's still going to love it because you built up the tension so much. So it leaves little room for error, okay? And that's what we're doing here, okay? We're making you the guy who is going to be so sure of himself that he can take his time and knows that she is still going to want him and desire him. And that's what really pure self-esteem looks like. Knowing that you are so awesome that whether or not it works out with this girl, you'll be able to find another girl because you are that great. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, Trip, I don't even get to the point where I have a girl that I can do the deed with. I don't have a girl that I'm even going on dates on to even get to that point. What do I do? Well, no problem there. Just go to getherhooked.com. You know you can always get my program if you haven't heard of it by now. I mention it in pretty much all my episodes, so you know that it is available to you. It's an option, so you can learn step by step how to get a girl magnetically hooked on you. I'm going to give you the step-by-step program and every single step of the way on how to be able to get a girl attracted to you from the second you start talking to her all the way to the point where you do have her in the bedroom. And of course, when you do, you got to come back to this episode to remind yourself that it takes going slow, going very slow, building that tension up. Now, here's a little tip to help you with this so you're not like, well, what do I mean go slow? Where do I start? Where do I begin? It's very simple. Start from head to toe, okay? Head to toe. So obviously, when you're first getting intimate with the girl, you guys are kissing, right? That's happening. So you can make sure that your kissing is slow. Okay, kissing is nice and slow. Of course, there's times for it to get more hot and heavy, but go slow there. And then when you're working your way down, then you still continue to go slow. But that's what you're going to do. Work your way down from the neck, down to the breast, down to the stomach, down to the vagina, down to the legs, down to the toes. Okay? From head to toe, this is what you're going to be doing. And working your way down slow. Treat her body like it is a temple. Okay? Because that's what we do here. Trip Advice. We respect women. We love them. We desire them. And in a very healthy way. And there'll be reciprocation. Don't worry. When you're showing a girl that you're paying attention to her body and you're paying attention to her, that you actually care about being there with her, that you're appreciating the time and it's not just a one and done, she will reciprocate. Okay? She will love that. And a girl will always reciprocate when she finds a guy who knows how to push her buttons in the bedroom. Okay, it's very rare for a woman to have a guy who knows what he's doing. Because why? Because they're just guys who are just going really fast and kind of doing their thing and not paying attention and kind of, using them like they're some sort of doll. But that's not what's happening here. We're all human beings, treating each other with lots of kindness and respect. So treat her body with kindness and respect. Move slow. Enjoy it. Be present. This is something you should be doing every day of your life. Every moment you should be taking the time to just move slow, to be present, to enjoy every bite of food, every sip of water, every step outside, the cold weather, the warm weather, the women you meet, the conversations that you have. So this is going broad even into life advice. Take things slow. Appreciate it as it's coming. There's no rush. You'll get there. We're all here. We'll all get to the place where we want to be. All right? So that is today's episode of How to Talk to Girls. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out GetHerHooked.com. Got podcasts coming out every week. You know where to find me. Talk to you soon.